Even if something is trivial, we will die, and our old Yu's family will be completely humiliated by her. If you really want to die, why don't you just find a secluded place? Staying at home, I don't really want to die at all. Let me tell you, she just wants to be a star to scare you on purpose, don't. The chattering noise made Yu Yao's ears hurt, although she had understood that she had time traveled for a long time, and now she was another person, but she still couldn't stand the noise. But before she could speak, a dissatisfied male voice sounded first. Mom! Can you say a few words less? Yayao is like this. Yu Zhaoxing roared. Unexpectedly, as soon as he finished yelling, Qin Feng's face, who was still chattering just now, suddenly changed. He nervously glanced at the girl with her eyes closed on the hospital bed, and slapped Yu Zhaoxing on the head unceremoniously. Followed by her chattering voice, "Damn you! This debt collector has not woken up yet. Are you trying to wake her up by making such a loud noise?" She cut her wrist with a knife and shed so much blood. Now that she is weak, can't you let her take care of her with peace of mind? Yu Zhaoxing scratched his head, which was hurting from the beating, and couldn't understand what his mother meant. Mom, are you worried about Yayao, or are you angry with Yayao? Qin Feng's face froze, and seeing his son's dumbfounded appearance, he slapped him again. Who cares about this debt collector? It's not a small person if he is not bold, and he can do things like suicide. He's going to kill himself. I just want to save some money, lest you quarrel with her. I will have to spend money to eat and drink to replenish her body later. This is really ugly. Yu Zhaoxing was not happy, so he opened his mouth, and Qin Feng slapped him again. Hush your voice. Yu Zhaoxing was wronged. Mom, I haven't made a sound yet. Qin Feng didn't care about him, and with a sideways glance, he urged, what time is it? Hurry up. You've already lost half a day's work, go have a meal, and go to work. Yu Zhaoxing took out his phone to check, it was already 1:10. But thinking about his daughter committing suicide, even though her life is not in danger now, but she hasn't woken up yet, how can he rest assured at this moment? After a while Yayao wakes up and can't see him, she must feel uncomfortable. Besides, her mother's mouth is bad, don't turn around and say that Yayao is even more sad. At this time, Yayao needs the comfort of her relatives the most. Qin Feng knew his son well, and he could tell what he was thinking by looking at his appearance. He immediately suppressed his voice and scolded, the mother of the debt collector can't get through the phone. How can you control the debt collector by pointing at her? How dare you ask for leave? You don't need a loan, right? A debt collector doesn't need money for hospitalization, right? Where does the money come from when you don't go to work? Is it from waiting in the big river? This family looks poor. But this father and this grandma seem to really love this girl named Yu Yao. Thinking in this way, guessing that if Yu Zhaoxing was still awake, she might not go to work, Yu Yao let out a soft hum and slowly opened her eyes. What she saw was a very ordinary ward, with curtains on both sides, and because she woke up, two faces quickly approached. The one in front is a man, 42-year-old Yu Zhaoxing, who is the father of a girl with the same name and surname as her. Because Yu Yao not only listened to Qin Feng for a while, but also took advantage of this time to receive all the memories of the original body, so she knew that Yu Zhaoxing was working as a plumber outside, and it was possible to earn 10,000 a month when the month was good. Yes, it's normal to earn 2,000 to 3,000 a month in bad times. The income is so unstable, but the burden on him is not light. In his 10th year of marriage, his daughter-in-law, the original body's mother, Shui Chun Fang Hong Xing, had an affair. She not only divorced him, but also took away half of their married house. He gave the money to Shui Chun Fang, not to mention the hundreds of thousands of debts he owed, and the monthly mortgage of 2,000 yuan. Fortunately, I lost my wife, and my daughter was taken away by my wife. There is only one mother in the family, and the foreign debts have been basically paid off over the years. Unexpectedly, the life just improved a little. When Qin Feng was thinking about finding another companion for his son, the granddaughter who followed Xue Chunfang came back again. This granddaughter is Yu Yao, the only child of Yu Zhaoxing. It stands to reason that Qin Feng should also love this only granddaughter, but it is a pity that Xue Chunfang was too much back then, and Yu Yao was the youngest at that time and listened to her mother the most. When Qin Feng was crying so much that her eyes were almost blind, the little girl scolded poor ghost in a daze, spat on Qin Feng's face, and followed Xue Chunfang away. So when she failed the college entrance examination at the age of 18 and couldn't stay at her stepfather's house for some reason and ran back, Yu Zhaoxing was very happy for her daughter to come back, but Qin Feng told her that her nose was not her nose and her eyes were not her eyes. And because she had a dream of becoming a star, Yu Zhaoxing felt sorry for her daughter and sent money to her like running water, so Qin Feng nicknamed her debt collector. Yao, how are you feeling? Are you hungry? If you want something to eat, Dad will buy it for you. Yu Zhaoxing's voice was cautious. Qin Feng couldn't see his son's worthless appearance, that's how he treated Xue Chunfang back then, so Xue Chunfang not only gave him a cuckold, but also swept him away hundreds of thousands. She snorted coldly and said, "Go to your class, can I still starve her to death?" As she spoke, she looked at Yu Yao, who seemed to have nothing wrong with her, and put away the concern in her eyes. Only disgust remained. "Tell me, what do you want to eat? I'll buy it for you." Yu Yao is no longer her original body, so naturally she is not sad because of Qin Feng's attitude at this moment, and she can see with sharp eyes that Qin Feng actually loves this granddaughter. She tried hard to squeeze out a smile, but found that she couldn't, so she just said to Yu Zhaoxing dryly, "Dad, you go to work, I'm fine, as long as Grandma is here." In fact, Yu Zhaoxing really wanted to ask his daughter why he couldn't think about cutting his wrists to commit suicide. But thinking that the child has just woken up, it may not be good to ask now, and his mother is here. If he asks, I am afraid that his mother will say nasty words again later. Therefore, he took a deep look at his daughter and said, "Yao, no matter what you want to do, just tell Dad, and Dad will definitely satisfy you." Before Qin Feng could speak, he got up quickly, "Take a good rest and think about it. I will tell your grandma what to eat, and my father has gone to work to make money. This is promised." Yu Yao nodded and responded lightly. Regardless of Qin Feng's objection, Yu Zhaoxing dragged her out. Yu Yao didn't need to think about it to know that Yu Zhaoxing must be telling Qin Feng to tell her not to say anything harsh at this time. In case the child just wakes up, is hit again, and then commits suicide again. The wrist of her left hand hurts badly, and her head also feels uncomfortable. Yu Yao closed her eyes slightly, but no matter how she thought about it, she couldn't think of why the original body wanted to commit suicide. It stands to reason that she can receive all the memories of the original body. What happened just now should be more clear. Why can't she remember it? The mobile phone on the right bedside table vibrated suddenly. Yu Yao opened her eyes and took the mobile phone over. What she saw was a call with the note "killing 1,000 swords." She was stunned for a while, and just in time to see Qin Feng coming in, she handed over the phone. "Grandma, killing 1,000 swordsmen called you." This is an elderly phone, Yu Yao knew without thinking that it must be Qin Feng's. Hearing the words "kill 1,000 swords," Qin Feng glanced at Yu Yao with a strange expression, took the phone and walked out quickly. Yu Yao shook her head helplessly. Qin Feng is a widow, so killing 1,000 swords is a nickname? Her twilight love? The original body didn't have this memory, so Yu Yao didn't want to care about it and continued to close her eyes. The original body had bled too much, this body was too tired, and her heart was also very tired. But as soon as she closed her eyes, a picture appeared in her mind, not the blood on the ground before she died, but the busy street. The first thing that appeared was Qin Feng, who was walking briskly. Her face was gloomy, she seemed to be swearing something while walking briskly. Then Yu Yao saw her walking across the road and standing in front of a woman. The woman is tall, with a pair of black stiletto heels, a bright red dress that shows her front convex back-up figure, and a clutch bag of a certain brand in her hand. I don't know what Qin Feng said to her. She opened her hand. He took the bag and took out a stack of money and handed it to Qin Feng. Probably because she was too tall, Yu Yao couldn't see her face. All she saw was a thin white hand with a huge diamond ring on her middle finger, and the gesture of her handing over the money seemed to be contemptuous. Sure enough, Qin Feng couldn't stand the woman's attitude at all, so she pushed the woman's hand with her backhand. As soon as the woman's hand was loosened, the money floated and fell to the ground. Then, not knowing what Qin Feng said, the woman also pushed her back. Yu Yao saw Qin Feng's figure sway, then fell backwards, rolling twice on the ground, just as a truck drove past, and ran over her directly. Yu Yao suddenly opened her eyes in fright. Qin Feng came in at this time. Her complexion was uglier than before going out, and the disgust in Yu Yao's eyes became heavier. Ignoring the panic on Yu Yao's face, she said stiffly, "What do you want to eat? I'll go and buy." Yu Yao looked at the grey and white shirt on her body, then looked down at her black pants and black cloth shoes, and shook her head violently. "It's too hot, Grandma, let's order takeaway." Ordering takeaway is a luxury for someone of Qin Feng's age. She frowned as if she could pick up a fly, and she looked at Yu Yao like she was looking at an annoying fly. "You have to pay for the delivery fee when you order food, and there are small restaurants everywhere after you leave the hospital. How much time can I waste? Besides, I am the one who is hot even if it wants to be hot, so what does it have to do with you? I don't think it's too hot." As she spoke, she rushed to the bed, took a white cloth bag, turned around and left. Looking at the white cloth bag, Yu Yao's pupils shrank. Just now, when Qin Feng she saw just now fell down, she was also holding the cloth bag in her hand. Although she didn't know why that scene appeared in her mind just now, Yu Yao had a strong premonition that if she really let Qin Feng go out, the scene that appeared in her mind just now would really happen soon. Not to mention that Qin Feng is Yuanshen's grandmother, Xue Chunfang seems to hate Yuanshen more. Even if Qin Feng is a stranger and knows that her life is in danger, Yu Yao can't just ignore her. She hurriedly sat up, and quickly grabbed Qin Feng's cloth bag with her right hand. "Grandma, I'm just worried about you. It's so hot today, and you're old, and you still ran out to buy food for me at noon. I feel really sorry." Qin Feng was taken aback for a moment, and then there was no disgust on his face. He just opened his mouth, and before he could say anything, doubts appeared in his eyes. Her granddaughter was as vicious as her mother when she was a child, but when she grows up, she will be silent and can lock herself in the house for a day without coming out. Usually, let alone her grandma, she didn't say a few words to her own father. What's going on now? A suicide attempt, and people have reformed. Yu Yao knew that it was not good to behave too much, so she loosened her hands slightly and said in a low voice, "If you suffer from heat stroke, my dad should be in a hurry." Qin Feng suddenly realized, she said, why did this girl suddenly care about her? It turned out that she cared about her father. It's good to care about her father loves her so much, so this girl has a conscience. But thinking of the phone call just answered, Qin Feng had to go out for a while. "It's okay, I'm in good health, let alone 1 trip, 10 trips are fine," she said, a little impatient, and walked out quickly. "If you have nothing to eat, then I'll buy it casually. This is the time, if you are not hungry, I will be hungry. Why can't you persuade this person?" Yu Yao looked at the empty door with some hesitation on her face. She knew her current physical condition, so it was really bad, and if she followed her out and was found by Qin Feng when she turned around, he would definitely point her nose and scold her. Maybe it's a hallucination? Or is it a dream? She didn't have the ability to predict future misfortunes and blessings in the past, so it doesn't make sense that she suddenly has the ability to wear it on a girl with the same name and surname. Moreover, she has the memory of the original body, and the original body does not have this ability. Yu Yao fell back on the bed, let out a long breath, and closed her eyes tiredly. Similarly, as soon as the eyes are closed, a picture appears in the mind. It's just that it's changed this time it's an old residential building, and Yu Yao immediately recognizes that it's Yuanshan's home, Yu Zhaoxing's home. It's just that the family is crowded with people in sackcloth and filial piety, and Yu Zhaoxing is wearing a filial son's attire, holding a portrait and crying loudly. Yu Yao took a closer look, and found that the person on the portrait was Qin Feng with a serious face. She was shocked, but this time she couldn't wake up smoothly. She looked at Yu Zhaoxing who was holding the portrait and crying, but suddenly felt that her body was suddenly weightless, and she jumped out of the balcony of the residential building and jumped downstairs. Yu Yao screamed, and opened her eyes suddenly. It was the same ward just now, she was lying on the bed, and there was no one around her. Instead, a middle-aged woman walked over from the other side of the curtain partition, stood at the end of the bed and looked at her cautiously. "Little girl, what's wrong with you?" Because Yu Yao committed suicide and was sent to the hospital, and because Qin Feng's mouth was too strong, although there were several families living in this ward, none of them had contact with them. This is because this eldest sister is kind-hearted, afraid that Yu Zhaoxing and Qin Feng will leave. What will happen to Yu Yao, a little girl? Yu Yao shook her head in shock. "It's okay." Seeing that Yu Yao didn't want to be nosy, the woman turned her head and went back. Yu Yao didn't dare to lie down and wait any longer. She could even encounter things that transmigrated to other people, and it's not impossible to encounter something else. The two fragments that appeared in my mind when I closed my eyes just now, the former one is horrifying, and the latter one makes people have to wonder. If the connection of the latter one makes people wonder, maybe something will really happen when Qin Feng goes out. Thinking of this, Yu Yao hastily turned over and got out of bed. Qin Feng has been out for several minutes. Fortunately, it was her wrist that was injured, and several hours had passed, so although her body was weak, she was afraid that something would happen to Qin Feng, so she ran out of the hospital with one breath. After leaving the hospital gate and turning left, Yu Yao felt her heart ache when she saw the intersection in front of her. This is exactly the intersection that appeared in her mind just now. Without even thinking about it, she ran away, and when she ran to the intersection, she really saw Qin Feng talking to a woman in a red skirt across the road with her back turned to her. Everything was right. Yu Yao wished she could run to pull Qin Feng away now, but she just ran into a red light. On the other side of the road, Shui Chunfang looked down at Qin Feng who was standing in front of her, with disgust in the corners of her eyes and brows. "Don't you just want money? You can just say it straight, why bother to beat around the bush and find such an excuse? I'm not afraid of making people laugh." As she spoke, she opened her handbag and took out a stack of 100 yuan RMB. Qin Feng was so angry that his face turned livid, and he said angrily, "Shui Chunfang, are you still human? My Yu family is poor, but no matter how poor I am, I won't make fun of the child's life. You are Ye Yao's mother, I don't know you. What's the matter? I don't want to know, but if something like this happened to the child, you as a mother don't want to worry about it. Can't you come and talk to the child and enlighten her?" Shui Chunfang was stunned, and thought, could it be that Yu Yao really committed suicide? But in just a short moment, her face became indifferent again. Whether it was a real suicide or a fake suicide, since this girl is gone, it is best not to go back in this life. "Okay, even if it's true, my mother didn't care about it," she said, and handed the money to Qin Feng. "You take this money, if it's not enough, you can ask Yu Zhaoxing to call me later, I'll pass it on to you." Qin Feng was so angry that he pushed Shui Chunfang's hand away. "Who cares about your stinky money? I don't know how you got it through dirty work, I'm Ba." Shui Chunfang had always put on a high profile, but she didn't expect that Qin Feng would not accept the money, let alone that Qin Feng dared to scold her after pushing her away. Why is her money dirty? It was given to her by her man, and she spent it as a matter of course. But Qin Feng, when she divorced Yu Zhaoxing back then, half of the house that should have belonged to her was divided. How ugly Qin Feng's face was at that time. Did she ask for money? Now that the debt has been paid off, so you have confidence? But it's still the same poor ghost. Xue Chunfang didn't bother to pick up the money that fell on the ground, but it was only $1,000, but Qin Feng, who didn't know who gave her face, dared to scold herself like that. She raised her eyebrows unceremoniously, and stretched out her hand to push Qin Feng while scolding, "My old lady can sit up straight. My husband earned the money and spent it for me. Why don't you do it? If you really want to say no, it's not clean, it's because your surname Yu is not upright and your lower beam is crooked, and your old man surnamed Yu doesn't cultivate, that's why you raise a scum like Yu Yao." It was okay to push once or twice, but she kept pushing, and Qin Feng was stunned when she heard Xue Chunfang call Yu Yao a bitch. He forgot to resist, and was pushed so hard by Xue Chunfang, his feet were empty, and he fell straight back. Qin Feng screamed in fright, but she didn't fall down as expected, but someone suddenly supported her waist from behind and pushed her forward. Then, seeing that she was about to fall into a tree by the side of the road, another arm quickly blocked the tree, and her head hit that arm hard. Yu Yao felt the pain, her whole face wrinkled. Qin Feng came back to his senses quickly, seeing his granddaughter in pain, and was about to ask nervously, when a large truck suddenly passed by behind him. Thinking that if her granddaughter hadn't come out suddenly to save her just now, she would be lying under the truck and crushed into meatloaf, Qin Feng broke out in a cold sweat. "Grandma, are you okay?" When Yu Yao's weak voice sounded, Qin Feng's eyes were red, there was anger and hatred towards Xue Chunfang, and gratitude towards Yu Yao. Thinking of the scene just now, Qin Feng can't deny that her granddaughter has her in her heart no matter what, otherwise why risk her life to save her, not to mention the danger of being run over by a big truck, even if her arm is hit by her like that, it hurts terribly. "Yao, how are you? Are you okay?" Qin Feng hurriedly supported Yu Yao, seeing Yu Yao lightly shaking her right hand, she felt relieved. "Fortunately, it is not left hand, if it is left hand, it will be over. I'm fine." Yu Yao endured the pain and said. She looked up at Xue Chunfang who was already frightened, and immediately knew who it was. She instinctively didn't like this person, and the original owner seemed to dislike this mother very much. It's a pity that the reason for not liking it is the same as the reason for committing suicide. Yu Yao didn't receive it. So she just glanced at Xue Chunfang indifferently, and said to Qin Feng, "Grandma, have you bought your food? Let's go buy food, and then hurry back. It's too hot." Qin Feng is a man with a knife mouth and a bean-curd heart. Seeing Yu Yao like this, although he still hates it in his heart, he doesn't want to make a mess with Xue Chunfang in front of Yu Yao. Knowing that Yu Yao didn't want to talk to Xue Chunfang, she was also a little happy in her heart, so she didn't even turn her head, and responded, "I haven't bought it yet, there is a restaurant next to it, Grandma will help you to rest, do you want to eat? Give you some milk?" Xue Chunfang looked at this warm scene, but snorted through her nostrils, "Yu Yao, I heard from your grandma that you committed suicide? You are really capable. Since you committed suicide, why didn't you die? Nima. What a deep hatred this is. Isn't this my mother? Is there any mother who treats her daughter like this?" Yu Yao was still wondering. Qin Feng had already let go of her, turned around and rushed towards Xue Chunfang, and slapped her twice with "Pa Pa Pa." Xue Chunfang has been pampered all these years, and now she is wearing 8 cm stiletto heels. When Qin Feng jumped up and slapped her, let alone counterattack, the 2 consecutive slaps made her startled and angry. The fell to the ground. The bright red dress is beautiful, but it is easy to lose it when you fall down. Xue Chunfang's face was hurting, buttocks hurting, and she had to try to get naked, so she got hit on the forehead by the sole of Qin Feng's shoe. "In my whole life, this is the first time I've seen you as a mother," scolding the child and cursing the child, I think you deserve to die. Qin Feng took back the black cloth shoes and put them on his feet, and after taking a sip, turn around and help Yu Yao go. Yu Yao blinked her eyes, she really wanted to give Qin Feng a thumbs up, awesome. She didn't sympathize with Xue Chunfeng at all. If she hadn't rushed out just now, Qin Feng would have turned into a meatloaf by now. Although Xue Chunfeng didn't want Qin Feng's life, but manslaughter is also murder, and she will be lucky if she only takes a few hits. Abandoning Xue Chunfeng, who was beaten with a grieved face, the grandfather and grandson turned their heads and left. I don't know if it was fun beating Xue Chunfeng, or thanks to Yu Yao for saving her life, or maybe Qin Feng loved Yu Yao very much, and she didn't think it was too expensive, so she generously took Yu Yao to a nice restaurant on the street. Not only did they order 2 dishes for Yu Yao, 1 meat and 1 vegetarian, but they also reluctantly added money to order a pot of chicken soup, which they only made when they finished eating, and they packed it up and went back to the hospital. On the way back, Qin Feng reprimanded Yu Yao, "You don't want to die, who told you to run outside like this? It's fine to run outside. If you push me away, it's over. What are you trying to do? You hurt your left hand and your right arm." When eating just now, Yu Yao couldn't move her left hand, and her right hand was in severe pain. Qin Feng couldn't bear to feed her the whole meal. Yu Yao wasn't angry either, this grandma has a knife mouth and a tofu heart, let her tell her, she won't lose a piece of meat anyway. Just thinking about the cause of her own death, and thinking about Xue Chunfeng's vicious question just now, Yu Yao felt a little uneasy. "Grandma, you said Xue, you just hit her, will she come to revenge us?" Qin Feng who said we felt very comfortable, and she didn't want to teach Yu Yao anymore. The old lady said with a stern look on her face, "She wants to take revenge, I wish she would come, I haven't finished my anger yet, here she comes, I just have a reason to take care of her." With just 2 slaps and 1 shoe sole just now, Qin Feng's anger hasn't even escaped half. But for some people, if they don't move, they will kill them. The worry in Yu Yao's expression did not disappear. Yu Zhaoxing had to go to work, and she would leave soon. Qin Feng was just an old lady, she was really worried. "That's all right, don't worry about it, she won't come." After finally remarrying a rich man, Xue Chunfeng was afraid that something would happen. Qin Feng didn't want to talk about these dirty things, so she just asked Yu Yao, "What's going on between you and Xue Chunfeng? Why did she scold you so much and curse you?" When Xue Chunfeng divorced and insisted on taking Yu Yao away, she really loved her daughter. Now that she has turned her face completely, Qin Feng doesn't think that Yu Yao will do anything wrong, but there must be a reason for it. Yu Yao didn't know at all, but she hurt her wrist or her head, and she couldn't tell a lie if she didn't remember. She had no choice but to look down at her bandaged left hand without saying a word. Qin Feng waited for a while and saw her like this, then snorted coldly angrily, and stopped asking. Anyway, she was happier that their mother and daughter had turned against each other. The granddaughter should have come home. As Qin Feng said, although Xue Chunfeng was so angry that she scolded her grandfather and grandson, she really had no intention of getting it back. Her foot was a little sprained, she took off her shoes and carried them in her hands, straightened her hair and touched her face, walked 200 meters to one side, and entered a small beauty salon on the street. In it, she combed her hair, applied her face, and put on her makeup again. At least after tidying up, her cell phone rang. Seeing the word husband on the caller ID, Xue Chunfeng was annoyed and resisted, but she didn't dare to wait any longer, but quickly picked up in 10 seconds, "Husband, why are you calling me at this hour?" Wang Xiaogong's voice was gentle, "Chunfeng, have you seen Ye Yao? What did she say? Will you come back?" Xue Chunfeng's complexion changed, and her tone became a little grave, "I didn't see it. That girl, she refused to come out, and even let that old man surnamed Qin come out, and the medical expenses he gave were taken away, but I was not allowed to come out. See Yayao. Wang Xiaogong's tone was a bit off. What does this family mean? It's unreasonable, isn't it? Yayao was sentenced to you, and now she's an adult. Their Yu family has ignored their children for so many years, and now they can still see Yayao growing up. In order to make money, you want to take people back. Shui Chunfang followed suit. I think that's it. Husband, don't worry about it, you're busy with work, so I'll take care of it. Wang Xiangang was silent for a moment before he said, that's fine, you find a way to meet Yayao, and talk to her first. There is no overnight feud between mother and daughter, let's talk about the last time. Yayao's child is ignorant, you scolded and scolded, didn't something happen? Don't worry about it, call the child back quickly, it's okay if you don't study, go to cram school as soon as possible, and repeat it for another year. After a pause, he added, if the Yu family members go too far, don't be too polite, just call the police and demand someone. Shui Chunfang gritted her teeth and answered one by one. As soon as the phone was hung up, she was so angry that she dropped the phone. Yu Yao didn't know about this. She went back to the hospital and drank a large bowl of chicken soup under Qin Feng's watchful eyes, because she was rushed to the hospital and left her phone at home, so she could only ask Qin Feng to borrow her phone. She has received all the memories of the original body, so she knows that her time travel did not travel to the past or future like in novels or film and television dramas, she just passed to another girl with the same name and surname who committed suicide in the same year, the same month and the same day. So it's been a long time, and she finally has time, so she has to call her mother. Familiar number, but the number I called was empty. Yu Yao did not give up and checked the 11 numbers several times, and then dialed again, but it was still an empty number. The reason why she was so calm this morning was because she obtained the memory of her original body, knowing that although she died, she was still living under the same sky. Although he has become another person, he still has the opportunity to take revenge and to protect his mother and brother. But now, she couldn't help panicking, and typed in numbers one by one, and then typed again. Still empty number. Qin Feng didn't pay attention to her at first, but when she couldn't get through and kept calling, Qin Feng became curious. Looking at her face again, her pale face, which had lost too much blood, was now as white as paper. Qin Feng was shocked and said, Yayao, what's wrong with you? Looking at the string of numbers, who are you calling? What's wrong? Yu Yao panicked like never before. She gritted her teeth hard and said, Grandma, it's okay. I may have misremembered the number. Call again. After regaining her mobile phone, she called her home number, but the number was still empty. She even called the murderer Yu Zhongshan, but the result was still the same. Qin Feng saw that she was biting her lower lip, which was bleeding from her bite, and now she really panicked. Yayao, don't scare Grandma. What's wrong with you? What do you want to do? Tell Grandma, don't scare me. Me? If this is another era, if she can't take revenge, can't protect her mother and brother. Yu Yao's eyes slowly turned red, and tears filled her eyes. Grandma, help me to borrow a mobile phone, help me. Can I borrow a cell phone? There must be something wrong with Qin Feng's mobile phone, it must be. Seeing Yu Yao's appearance, Qin Feng didn't care to ask what's the matter, and hurriedly rushed out. It happened that the Dr. Min Ruxiu came to make rounds, so Qin Feng rushed to borrow a mobile phone from Min Ruxiu. When Yu Yao got the phone, Min Ruxiu hastily reported the password, and after unlocking it, Yu Yao immediately called again. Similarly, no matter whether it is mothers, families, or even Yu Jiangshan's, they are all empty numbers. Yu Yao couldn't hold back her tears anymore, but she was not reconciled, thinking that the eldest lady of Zhaoshan Media had died unexpectedly. Such news could not be hidden, there must be news on the internet. She didn't even have time to ask Min Ruxiu. When she saw that the Weibo app was available on the homepage, she clicked on it. Before entering keywords, I saw that 2 of the top 10 searches on Weibo were about her. The second one is Yu Yao rolling the stairs. Article 5 is Miss Zhao Shan is in a vegetable state. Seeing such 2 trending searches, Yu Yao actually felt relieved. It's okay, it's still here. She clicked on both of them separately. The former said that she accidentally stepped on the air and rolled down the stairs in the company today. She bled a lot, and her life and death are still unclear. The latter is the reporter who got the news after squatting in the hospital, saying that she is likely to become a vegetative state. A murder was classified as an accident, which was all due to Yu Zhongshan. But fortunately, I still have a chance to take revenge one by one. Yu Yao calmed down completely, and when she looked up, she saw Min Ruxu, who was full of concern, and Qin Feng, whose eyes were already red. Thinking of her appearance just now, she felt a little guilty. Because she hurt her hand, she could only return the phone to Min Ruxu with one hand. Dr. Min, I'm sorry, thank you for your phone. Min Ruxu took back her phone and smiled with relief. It's okay, how do you feel now? Are you okay? Yu Yao shook her head. I'm fine, pretty good. Min Ruxu nodded, and Qin Feng was so angry that he almost slapped him with a big mouth. You girl! You want to kill me? Your good manners scare me to death. Yu Yao hurriedly admitted her mistake honestly. Grandma, I'm sorry, don't worry, I'm fine. Don't worry if you say no, rush. But no matter how anxious, this girl already lost half her life, so she really can't be beaten. Qin Feng was so angry that he had no choice but to pat the bed heavily. It was Min Ruxu who patted Qin Feng on the shoulder and said, Old lady, don't be angry, it's a good thing that your granddaughter is fine anyway. She looked only 27, with crooked eyes, a sweet smile, and a gentle voice. Qin Feng was really persuaded by her. She nodded, thanked her again, and sent her to another hospital bed. In order to prevent Qin Feng from chanting again when she came back, Yu Yao hurriedly wiped away her tears and retreated to the bed and pretended to be asleep. I went out for a trip before, and just now my mood fluctuated violently again. Yu Yao closed her eyes and breathed a sigh of relief, tired. But when I wanted to rest, I couldn't rest. As soon as I closed my eyes, I saw the Dr. Min Ruxu walking out of the hospital. She changed into casual clothes, wearing a white shirt and denim shorts, and a pair of flat sandals embellished with pearls. As soon as she got out of the hospital gate, her cell phone rang. She didn't know whose call it was, but she stopped and answered it sweetly. Suddenly, a man with a beard and a kitchen knife rushed towards her. Yu Yao and Qin Feng had a tacit understanding and didn't mention Xue Chunfang to Yu Zhaoxing. Yu Yao thought it was unnecessary, and it was not a good thing after all. Qin Feng was worried that mentioning Xue Chunfang would affect Yu Zhaoxing's mood. As a biological mother, Qin Feng knew very well what Xue Chunfang meant to Yu Zhaoxing. I haven't had a woman for so many years, so it's impossible to say that I don't have any thoughts about Xue Chunfang in my heart. But Qin Feng understands that as long as Xue Chunfang is not rejected by the current man, it is impossible for her to turn back. And if she was rejected and she was still there, she would rather Yu Zhaoxing remain a bachelor for the rest of her life than let him bring a woman like Xue Chunfang home again. That being the case, there is no need to worry too much. Because of the mediocre conditions of the Yu family, and because of Qin Feng's old age, Yu Zhaoxing had no time to go to work, and it was hard work for her to run between the hospital and her family, so Yu Yao was ready to be discharged before staying in the hospital for a week. On this day, Yu Zhaoxing took another half-day off, leaving Qin Feng to cook at home, and he came to the hospital to pick up Yu Yao. While he was going through the discharge procedures, Yu Yao stopped Min Ruxu. In the past few days, Yu Yao has been able to see Min Ruxu every day, so she pays attention to her dress every day. The scene she saw when she closed her eyes was the same as foreseeing Qin Feng's tragedy. 90% sure, if she doesn't ask, Min Ruxu will definitely suffer what she saw. So she had to remind Min Ruxu. Not only because Min Ruxu is a good doctor, but also because there is no reason for anyone to die due to such cruel treatment. It's a pity that she didn't see Min Ruxu wearing sandals embellished with pearls until the day she was discharged from the hospital, but today Min Ruxu was indeed wearing a white shirt under her white coat, and she couldn't tell because all the buttons of the white coat were buttoned up. But she had bare legs, so Yu Yao had reason to suspect that it was denim shorts. Yu Yao, what's the matter, is there something wrong? Yu Yao has been paying attention to Min Ruxu for the past few days and greets her every day. Min Ruxu is also very close and familiar with her. Seeing that she didn't speak, she gently stroked her hair. It's still early to be discharged from the hospital. When you go back, stay at home for the time being and don't go anywhere. Take care of your body first. If you feel uncomfortable, come to the hospital immediately, you know. Yu Yao nodded, made up her mind, and immediately said, Dr. Min, you don't want to be alone when you get off work these few days, and don't answer the phone immediately after leaving the hospital gate. These words were a bit out of mind, and Min Ruxu couldn't understand. Yu Yao, what are you talking about? Yu Yao didn't know how to tell her, because she had to believe it. Taking a quick look around, she thought about everything about Min Ruxu that she had seen intermittently after closing her eyes in the past few days. Yu Yao quickly said in a low voice, Dr. Min, you are the only daughter in your family, your father is a university professor, and your mother is a housewife. But in fact, your parents are college classmates. The reason why your mother is at home now is because she has been in poor health. That's why you study medicine, right? All of this can be found out by inquiring, and Min Ruxu's face suddenly became a little bad. Why are you asking people about my private affairs? Yu Yao shook her head and said, listen to me, you were brought up by your aunt at your grandmother's house because of your mother's poor health, but your aunt didn't treat you well. Also, you have a love the boyfriend who is planning to get married recently, the boyfriend and you met in the game, right? These are not things that can be known by asking around. My aunt is not good to her, and she only confided a few words to her father after she went to college. Even my mother still doesn't know. There is also the fact that I met my boyfriend in the game. Min Ruxu has always felt that she is ashamed to date online at such an age, not to mention that she met through games, so not only to the outside world, but also to her parents and friends. How do you know this? She looked at Yu Yao now, her eyes were wary but also curious. Yu Yao can't tell her that she saw it out of nowhere. Thinking of going to the filming scene occasionally in the past, and seeing how some artists acted as fake Taoist priests and monks with great abilities, Yu Yao also took pictures of gourds and made an inscrutable look. Dr. Min, actually, I have been studying metaphysics since I was a child, so I can see this from looking at your face and the past few days of contact. Actually, I didn't want to be nosy, but after these few days of contact, I found that you are not only a meddling a good doctor is still a good person, so I made an exception to tell you. Anyway, you listen to me, try to go with people when you are off work these days, and don't answer the phone before you get out of the hospital gate and get in the car. Min Ruxu didn't believe these words, but Yu Yao did know many things that she didn't reveal at all. So she stared blankly and asked, why? Yu Yao shook her head and said, the heavenly secret must not be leaked, so don't ask. Just when Yu Zhaoxing came over after completing the discharge procedures, Yu Yao waved to Min Ruxu and left with Yu Zhaoxing. Secrets cannot be leaked? Min Ruxu looked at Yu Yao's back, although she was curious, she couldn't help but smile. It's just a little girl who committed suicide a few days ago. If she really practiced metaphysics since she was a child, how could she have only that kind of heart? There are still many things to be busy. Min Ruxu shook her head and walked away quickly. Yu Zhaoxing didn't want his daughter to take the bus, so he took a taxi on purpose, and they arrived home in 20 minutes. It was exactly the same as what she saw after she closed her eyes. In some years-old neighborhoods, when she looked up from downstairs, Yu Yao could even imagine what she looked like when she jumped off the stairs that day. It is really thanks to her that she can suddenly see many things, otherwise she would not know what to do. The house has been thoroughly cleaned by Yu Zhaoxing and Qin Feng, and there is no trace of blood on the floor of Yu Yao's house, because Qin Feng has already made lunch, and after putting down her things, Yu Yao sat at the dining table. Qin Feng cooked a table full of dishes, but first served Yu Yao a bowl of chicken soup. This is stewed by an old hen I bought early in the morning. It has been stewed all morning, and it is the most nutritious. You can drink a bowl first and then eat it. Have a meal. The golden chicken soup and the tangy aroma show that Qin Feng's cooking skills are very good. Yu Yao took it and said, "Thank you, Grandma." Qin Feng was used to the silent Yu Yao in the past, and still couldn't accept her sudden politeness, so she muttered with a straight face, "My family, what kind of politeness are you?" Yu Zhaoxing didn't care about her, just smiled and said to Yu Yao, "Don't worry about your grandma, Yao, you should drink the soup quickly, and eat vegetables after drinking." The meal was enjoyable, but after the meal, Yu Yao stopped Qin Feng who was going to wash the dishes, and said, "Father, Grandma, I want to tell you that I plan to go to Hengcheng to have a try. I don't know what's going on, although she is sure that she remembers the number correctly, but she just can't get through the original number. Under such circumstances, she can't go home directly to the company. She may not even see her mother and younger brother when she goes home. But when she goes to the company, Yu Zhongshan is a murderer. If she knows that something like this happened to her, I still don't know how to deal with her. What's more, she has no money at all, and she has to ask Yu Zhaoxing if she wants to go out. Without a reasonable reason, neither Yu Zhaoxing nor Qin Feng will agree to her going to the capital alone. Fortunately, the original body had a dream of becoming a star, so she could use this opportunity to return with a different identity. As long as you go back, as long as you are close, it doesn't matter whether it's taking care of your mother and brother, or revenge with Yu Zhongshan. What's more, she now has the ability to see everything about others. Even if she can't kill Yu Zhongshan, she can definitely send Yu Zhongshan to jail. But Yu Yao's words made both Yu Zhaoxing and Qin Feng's faces change. "Yu Yao! You!" Qin Feng said with a condensed face, and just started. Yu Zhaoxing interrupted her by pressing her shoulder, "Mom, don't worry, I'll talk to Yao." Yu Yao knew that both of them cared about her, and also knew that the original body had not received formal training, and if she ran over with this appearance and no background, it was very likely that something bad would happen to her. But she is not the original body, she has reasons to go, and she cannot compromise. So she tried her best to talk in a negotiating tone, "Father, Grandma, I know it's for my own good that you don't want me to go. I really understand what you are saying. I am so beautiful, but I have no background or background. It will be very dangerous. I haven't taken acting classes, I haven't gone through orthodox studies, and it will be very, very hard to play a role that can only get out of the way at most. But this is my dream. I am still young, and I want to go to try hard, maybe you will succeed? But I can also promise you, I will definitely protect myself and never let anything happen to me. And if I fail, you don't need to tell me, I will come back obediently and repeat the college entrance examination, okay? You just let me try it, just try it, otherwise I'm really not reconciled." Yuan Shen had such an idea, but never said it openly. Now that Yu Yao spoke out so calmly and bit by bit, not only Yu Zhaoxing, but even Qin Feng listened. Of course, it's more about fear. They don't know the truth about Yu Yao's suicide. After much deliberation, they just don't support her to become a star. So I feel that Yu Yao is fighting and using the way of ending her life. Now that Yu Yao calmly spoke out what was in her heart, the two of them dared not and indeed could not say no. Yu Yao didn't ask them to make an immediate statement, she got up and said, "I'll go back to my room first, you guys think about it and give me the answer." Back in the room, after taking a look around, Yu Yao remembered that this was Yu Zhaoxing's room. Because the original body came back, Yu Zhaoxing couldn't bear to wrong his daughter, so he gave her the biggest and best master bedroom, and moved to the storage room by himself. The house of the Yu family is 2.5 rooms, except for the master bedroom and the second bedroom. There is also a small storage room, which was originally used to store some sundries, but now Yu Zhaoxing has made a simple 1 small bed in it, which seems to be the reason why Feng Yuan had a bad look towards Yu Yao. She lived in the second bedroom alone. If Yuan Shen agreed to live with her, Yu Zhaoxing wouldn't have to be so wronged. Although Yu Yao has most of the memories of the original body, but lacks the part of why she committed suicide and why she hates Xue Chunfang, so she doesn't dare to say what's wrong with the original body. Because of a suicidal person, there must be a problem with her mental state. Before such a person is completely cured by a psychiatrist, some accusations against normal people cannot be applied to them. I don't know if I can remember it later. Yu Yao didn't think much about it. She saw the original owner's mobile phone by the bed, so she took it over and wanted to try calling again. After unlocking, Yu Yao first saw 22 missed calls, 18 new messages, and 99 new WeChat messages. Now that she has become the original body, there is no such thing as a bad view of other people's privacy. Yu Yao first checked the missed calls. There are 22 missed calls in total, 2 of which are mothers, and 20 are Uncle Wang. Yu Yao knew that this Uncle Wang was Xue Chunfang's current husband and her original stepfather. Of the 18 new messages, only 1 is about my mother, and the remaining 17 are about Uncle Wang. Yu Yao frowned, knowing that there must be something wrong with it. Among the 18 messages, Xue Chunfang's one was like this: Yu Yao, if you have the ability to leave, if you have the ability, don't come back for the rest of your life. This message was sent after being beaten by Qin Feng that day. Yu Yao couldn't help but sneered when she saw it. This mother didn't speak harshly in a fit of anger. She probably meant to tell Yuan Shen not to go back. Yu Yao definitely won't go back, and the original body probably won't want to go back either. The remaining 17 messages from Uncle Wang, Yu Yao just glanced at them roughly. They are basically the same. They are all about persuading the relationship between mother and daughter, helping Xue Chunfang to speak, and asking Yu Yao to go back to the cram school as soon as possible, so that she can repeat it next year, take a college entrance examination. This is really good, and so is my own father. But he is not his real father. Yu Yao doesn't rule out that there are people in this world who treat stepchildren as their own children, but with Xue Chunfang's attitude, Uncle Wang's attitude makes people feel strange. She thought of Xue Chunfang asking why she didn't die when she committed suicide at the entrance of the hospital. How much malice must a mother have for her child to say such a thing? But judging from Uncle Wang's attitude, even if the original body did something wrong, it shouldn't be too big of a fault. Yu Yao knew that she was a bit biased, because Xue Chunfang's attitude made her lean towards the original body, and felt that even if the original body was wrong, it must be Xue Chunfang's forcing. With this kind of thinking, looking at Uncle Wang's previous messages, the original body rarely replied, so he directly withdrew without replying to the 2 of them. She should be the same as the original body, ignoring these 2 people. And when she logged into WeChat and saw that all the messages were from the group, she clicked to quit without even looking at the group name seriously. Calling again, it was the same as the one she had made with Qin Feng's Yu Zhaoxing's Min Ruxu these days, all of which were empty numbers. There have been many disappointments, and Yu Yao has gotten used to it. Since she didn't have a Weibo in her original body, she downloaded a new app and logged into her original Weibo account. Okay, wrong password. WeChat, wrong password. Alipay, wrong password. Online banking, same password error. Yu Yao gritted her teeth and threw her phone on the bed in anger. It seemed that her worst assumption was correct. If she wanted to leave, she had to get the consent and sponsorship of Yu Zhaoxing and Qin Feng. After a day's work, Min Ruxu stretched and returned to the office to take off her white coat. She wore a loose white shirt today, and denim shorts with a little fringe underneath. Because she was going to get off work, she took off the flat shoes she put on at work, and replaced them with the ones she wore when she went out today. Pearl sandals. Tonight is the anniversary of her 3-year relationship with her boyfriend, and they want to have dinner together, so she specially dressed up as a girl. No way, the older I get, the more I like to act like a girl. After finishing her hair in front of the mirror and putting on her makeup, Minruxu walked briskly out the door with her bag on her back. When she reached the gate of the hospital, she stopped, remembering what Yu Yao said to her when she was discharged from the hospital today. But usually it is convenient to get together with someone after get off work, but today she is going to meet her boyfriend, or drive by herself, who will join her. Shaking her head, Minruxu couldn't help laughing. Why did she take what the little girl said seriously again? Looking at the time, Minruxu put aside these thoughts and walked quickly to the gate. It was a coincidence that the phone rang before he even stepped out of the door. She set an exclusive ringtone for her boyfriend, and it was he who called. Minruxu hesitated for a moment, then turned around and walked aside before answering the phone. Zioxu, don't worry, I've encountered something just before I get off work, and I may have to delay getting off work by 20 minutes. Minruxu said in a good-tempered manner, okay, then you are busy first, and I can't go anywhere soon during the rush hour. As soon as the voice fell, a scream came from outside the door. There were people coming and going at the entrance of the hospital at any time, so the screams came one after another, and Minruxu knew that something must have happened. She didn't want to talk to her boyfriend anymore, so she hung up the phone in a hurry and ran outside. When she went outside, she saw the security guard and several helpful men restraining a bearded man, and there was a kitchen knife on the ground nearby. Minruxu's back was wet with sweat. She knows this man. This is the son of a patient she took over last week. And the man who looked resigned to his fate after being caught suddenly became agitated when he saw Minruxu appearing. His hands were restrained. He stretched out his feet and kicked Minruxu and scolded, "You bitch! You bad woman! Why did you save my mother? Why did you save?" Minruxu didn't understand these words. She ignored the man's insults and said loudly, "I am a doctor, and it is my duty to treat the sick and save the sick. Of course I will save the sick when they are sent to the hospital." Damn! The man spat towards Minruxu, "Stop coming. You doctors, you hospitals are all the same, they are all wolves who eat people without spitting out their bones. What are you doing to save people? You just want to cheat money. My mother is suffering so much and you still want to save her, isn't it just for the high medical bills? You can do anything for money, your conscience has been eaten by dogs." Minruxu felt that something was wrong with this man when he was saving someone, but listening to him now, she became even more certain. This is a neurosis. She glanced at the kitchen knife on the ground, and before she could ask, the man answered first, "Wait. I didn't cut you this time, and there will be another time. You are so black-hearted and black-hearted, I will cut you sooner or later. Kill you." Minruxu's face sank. She took out her phone and called the police. But when she came out of the police station and saw her boyfriend who came in a hurry, Minruxu, who had been holding on all the time, felt her legs go weak, and cried and threw herself into her boyfriend's arms. "You know what? I almost died today, thanks to." During dinner, there was a quiet and awkward atmosphere at the Yu family's dinner table, but a phone call broke the silence. Yu Zhaoxing picked up the phone, and after saying a few words, he handed the phone to Yu Yao. "Dr. Min called you." Minruxu called at this time, so the catastrophe was avoided. Yu Yao answered the phone. "Hi, Dr. Min, I'm Yu Yao." Minruxu had just cried once, and her voice was a little hoarse. "Yu Yao, thank you so much today, if it weren't for your reminder, I'm afraid I'm not alive now." She talked about what happened today with some excitement, and ended "Cai said, I really don't know how to thank you, Yu Yao, is the address you left in the hospital correct? I want to visit your house tomorrow and thank you personally." Min Ruxiu escaped a catastrophe. Yu Yao was also happy for her, but thank you personally. She looked up at Yu Zhaoxing and Qin Feng who were looking at her, gritted her teeth and said, Dr. Min, you don't need to come to our house, if you really want to thank me, or give me some reward. Yu Yao blushed a little when she took the initiative to ask someone for money. Min Ruxiu answered immediately, it should be, you are a master of metaphysics, you saved my life, I should have paid you. Is it not convenient for me to come to your door? Well, you see? Give me a card number or something, and I'll transfer the money to you right away. Yu Yao bit the bullet and said, I'll send you the message later. After hanging up the phone, Qin Feng first asked, Yao, do you want to collect money from Dr. Min? Yu Zhaoxing also said, what did you do for her? Even if you did a small favor, there's no need to charge money, right? Our family hasn't. Wanting to teach a few words, but thinking that the child came back at such an age, and committed suicide within a few days of raising him, Yu Zhaoxing forcibly held back the words. Seeing his appearance, Qin Feng moved her lips, but said nothing. The Yu family's conditions are not good, so this reward, is what he deserves, right? Yu Yao even had a sudden thought, she had such a golden finger, did God give her to see her pity? If so, she should be able to help many people avoid disasters in the later stage, and the money for travel will be no problem. And if you want to enter the entertainment circle, it seems to be easy to use this golden finger, after all, she is a genuine talent, and many people in that circle actually believe this. Yu Yao said, I'm helping her. If she asks someone else, it's hard to say whether they can help. Even if they can help, the money will not be small. I didn't say how much I want, it's up to her to give it. I can do as much as she gives me. It sounds like a very powerful look. Qin Feng was curious, what did you help Dr. Min? When did you help? Yu Yao wasn't sure if she could tell about her sudden ability to foresee disasters, and after hesitating for a moment, she said vaguely, it's something on the internet, Grandma, if you want to know, I'll tell you later when you have time. As soon as he heard that it was something on the internet, Qin Feng immediately shook his head, forget it, I don't understand those things. Although Yu Zhaoxing is not very old, he doesn't understand these things, but he knows that some people do some jobs on the internet, and the income is very high and scary. My own daughter is fine no matter what she thinks. Yu Zhaoxing doesn't think that Yu Yao will be deceived. Since she said so, she must have a reason. Dr. Min is also an adult. If she is willing to give money, it means that she really should give. Seeing that neither of them asked any more questions, Yu Yao sent her original Alipay account. Min Ruxiu moved quickly, and when Yu Yao returned to her room after dinner, she saw that the money had been transferred. And this is really a very real person, she transferred 50,000 yuan to Yu Yao. That's not a lot of money for a life. But the rescue has already been saved, and if it is completely safe and returns so much, then it is really a lot. What's more, she just spent a few words at that time. Although 50,000 yuan was nothing to Yu Yao in the past, but now, she is really guilty of accepting it. Just as he was hesitant to ask Yu Zhaoxing for Min Ruxiu's number, Min Ruxiu applied to add her as a friend on Alipay. After clicking agree, the two also added WeChat by the way. Min Ruxiu sent another message, Master Yu, I don't know if it's enough, if not, you can talk about it later. The title of Master Yu made Yu Yao wake up immediately. She replied, enough is enough. Be safe in the future. Min Ruxiu hurriedly said, Master Yu, can I ask you for help in the future? Yu Yao was ashamed, and corrected, you can call me Yu Yao, you can contact me anytime in the future. The food at Yu's house was good, and Yu Yao really couldn't stay, so within 2 days, she proposed to go to Hengcheng again. This time it was at the breakfast table, and Yu Zhaoxing hadn't gone to work yet. Qin Feng glanced at Yu Zhaoxing after hearing what he said, patted the table and said, okay. Go. Grandma will go with you. Qin Feng's words made Yu Yao and Yu Zhaoxing's eyes widen. But she had really made up her mind, and said to Yu Zhaoxing, "You are an old man, and you can take care of yourself. If you really don't have time to cook, you can just eat outside for a while. But Ye Yao is different. I'm so small, I don't worry about going to such a far place alone, are you at ease?" Yu Zhaoxing shook his head immediately, of course he was not at ease. Qin Feng nodded in satisfaction, winked at Yu Zhaoxing and said, "Besides, Ye Yao hasn't recovered well yet. She can't eat well or sleep well when she goes out alone. With me by her side, she can take care of her." "This is true." Yu Zhaoxing recovered from his astonishment and understood what his mother meant. Besides these two benefits, there was another one. That's when Yu Yao still has to resist if she can't get along, her mother can force her to bring her back. Thinking of this, he helped Qin Feng to speak. "Ye Yao, I agree with your grandma, what do you think?" "How else can I think, let you tell the truth. If I don't agree, don't you agree with me too? Besides, considering the current physical condition of the original body, Yu Yao also felt that it would be good to have Qin Feng follow her. As for the future, she believes that she can stay in Hengcheng, and also believes that Qin Feng is a reasonable person and will never mess around. So the matter was settled like this. Yu Yao bought the bus tickets for the two of them online that night, and Yu Zhaoxing went to the supermarket to help the grandparents and grandchildren buy a lot of food and drink, and sent them to the two early in the morning. Out the door. City H where Yu Yao is staying is not too far from Hengcheng. If you take a bullet train or high-speed rail, you will be there after a 3-hour train ride and an hour-long bus ride. It's just that I was too anxious to buy tickets this time. I only bought the express train, which took 7 hours by train. Fortunately, they have plenty of time now." Yu Zhaoxing bought a platform ticket and sent the two of them to the train gate. "Mom, take care of Ye Yao and yourself." He couldn't help but remind again. Qin Feng said, "Don't worry, just stay at home and take care of yourself, don't meet people you shouldn't see." She was also worried that Xue Chunfang would come to her. Yu Zhaoxing didn't understand what she meant, and said, "I go home every day besides work, who can I see?" After casually answering, he looked at Yu Yao again, "Don't tire yourself too much, if you can't do it, hurry up and follow me. When your grandma comes back, let's go back to the university for another year, and my dad will help you study." Yu Yao smiled and agreed, there is no need to argue with him at this time, he is sincerely for his daughter. Seeing this, Yu Zhaoxing was very happy, turned around and took out an envelope from his trousers pocket and handed it to Yu Yao. "The rest of the money is asked for your milk, this is not much, you can buy some snacks, or something else. I will get paid next month, I'll call you again." Yu Yao lowered her head and glanced, what she was looking at was not the envelope, but Yu Zhaoxing's hand. Because of his long-term work, his hands were covered with calluses and scars, which made Yu Yao's nose a little sore just by looking at them. "Fatherly love, is this true fatherly love?" She refused to ask. "Dad, have you forgotten that Dr. Min paid me, and I don't need money for the time being? You keep it first, and I will ask you later when I need it, or if you give it to me now, I won't pay attention. It's a waste to spend it all." Yu Zhaoxing wanted to say something more, but Qin Feng felt that Yu Yao was right. She pushed her son and said, okay, Ye Yao is right, I can't do without her. You can take the money back first, and if Ye Yao comes back to repeat her studies, she still has to go to college. It's all money. Hurry back, we're getting in the car." Yu Zhaoxing had no choice but to collect the money, and watched the two most important people in his life get on the train. When the train moved slowly, Qin Feng looked out the window and sighed. She has lived most of her life, and this is the first time she has left City H, and she is going to Hengcheng with her granddaughter to pursue that unrealistic dream. "Thinking about yesterday when I was cooking at home, all the neighbors came to the house. One by one he was asking Yayao inside and out, as if he was very worried about Yayao. But in fact, she couldn't see that these people were just watching a joke. They joked that there was a suicide attempt in Lao Yu's family. They joked that the granddaughter of the old Yu's family dared to dream of becoming a star because of her three-point beauty. Qin Feng turned her face away and looked at Yu Yao, who was asleep with her eyes closed. She had fair and delicate skin and long and trembling eyelashes. It seemed that the Creator had carved out her delicate features stroke by stroke. Qin Feng had never read a book, and said she can't say anything about her beauty, but looking at her granddaughter, she really thinks she looks good looking, and she thinks she is better looking than many stars on TV. Even though 7 or 8% of her granddaughter's face was inherited from Shui Chunfeng's beauty, but Qin Feng is not right about people. Her granddaughter is different from Shui Chunfeng. Her granddaughter is beautiful from heart to appearance. Before going out, he told his son several times that if it doesn't work, he should bring his granddaughter home early, but at this moment, Qin Feng secretly had a hope in his heart. It would be great if he could do it. It would be great if my granddaughter could really become a big star. When she returns home at that time, she must show everyone in the neighborhood that her Qin Feng's granddaughter is a good one. Her Qin Feng's granddaughter is so beautiful, she was born to be a big star. Yu Yao didn't know about Qin Feng's thoughts. She had been planning what to do when she got to Hengcheng last night, and she was completely cut off from the previous world during this time travel. Not only can't I contact my family, I can't use my own things, but also my former resources and friends. I'm afraid it's also dangerous. She didn't think about these things, how to go on her own. She thought about it almost all night. Right now, she was really sleepy. In the end, she was woken up by the crying of the child. When she opened her eyes, she saw that the man sitting opposite had been replaced by a young woman holding the child. The woman is very thin, with high cheekbones, and no flesh on her face. Looking at her face, she doesn't look very easy to get along with. But the child in her arms was the opposite. It was fat and chubby. Although it was not white enough, it was much whiter than women. The woman's name was Zhang Lanlan, and the baby in her arms was crying at the moment. While coaxing her, she lowered her head and seemed to be groping for something from the luggage bag underneath. Realizing that Yu Yao was sitting upright, she raised her head in a panic, cast an apologetic look at Yu Yao, and nodded apologetically at Qin Feng. There is no way to stop such a young child from crying, but her attitude made Yu Yao have a good impression of her. Unlike some parents, it seems that the whole world is the mother of their children. When their children cry, they don't feel anything at all, and they don't feel sorry for other people at all. Just as Yu Yao was about to ask if she needed help, Qin Feng hummed softly from beside her. How do you become a mother? The child is either hungry or sick. If you don't deal with it quickly, let him cry like this. Is it noisy? Qin Feng felt sorry for her granddaughter who was woken up while sleeping. Open-mouth tone is not good. Zhang Lanlan's face turned black and red in an instant. No, I'm sorry, the child is hungry. She wanted to find a milk bottle, but it was difficult for her to move while holding the child. With this explanation, her eyes turned red all of a sudden. Yu Yao patted Qin Feng, who was still wanting to talk, and said to Zhang Lanlan, "What are you looking for? I'll help you find it." Under Qin Feng's glaring gaze, Zhang Lanlan only dared to whisper, "Bottles and milk powder." Yu Yao took out her luggage, and quickly found the baby bottle, as well as the milk powder in a small bag. This woman is so thin, it seems that she has no milk. Yu Yao took out these two items and asked, "Are you going to make milk powder? I'll help you." Yu Yao was 10 years older than her younger brother. At the beginning, his younger brother was fine when he was born. Later, when his younger brother was more than a year old, he already noticed something was wrong. He was born with low intelligence. Father Yu Zhongshan felt that it was embarrassing to have a mentally handicapped son. He didn't even use the nanny and auntie for the family. Sometimes mother was too busy, and Yu Yao helped take care of it, so she really knew how to make milk powder. Zhang Lanlin was grateful and was about to thank her, but Qin Feng stood up and scolded, "You are not in good health, what nonsense! Give me, I'll go." After snatching the bottle of milk powder, Qin Feng came out from inside and left directly. Yu Yao said to Zhang Lanlin with some embarrassment, "I'm sorry, my grandma has a bit of a temper." Zhang Lanlin quickly shook her head, "It's all right, the old lady is kind." Yu Yao smiled, but didn't answer. In fact, although Qin Feng's mouth is indeed bad, his heart is really not bad. Qin Feng came back after a while, and when he handed the prepared milk bottle to Zhang Lanlin, he said, "The water on the train is too hot. I went to the conductor and asked for warm water to mix it with. Hurry up and feed the baby." "Thank you, thank you." Zhang Lanlin thanked, and hurriedly put the pacifier into the child's mouth. After the child finally hugged the bottle to drink milk, Yu Yao found peace. It was still early, it was not time for lunch, and Yu Yao, who was dangling in the car, didn't want to look at her mobile phone, so she simply closed her eyes again. As soon as he closed it, a picture appeared in front of his eyes. Zhang Lanlin got off the train with the child in her arms and her luggage. Unexpectedly, the child was snatched away by an old lady as soon as she got out of the train station. Zhang Lanlin was stunned for a moment, but the old lady spoke first, "Sister, thank you for helping me hold the baby all the way. It's already arrived. If my family members come to pick me up, I won't bother you." Zhang Lanlin was completely dumbfounded. When she realized it, the old lady had already turned around with the child in her arms, and she jumped up in a hurry, "What are you talking about? This is my son. Give it back to me. Give it back to me quickly." The old lady looked around 50 years old and well dressed. She was shaken by this hand, and the child seemed to be falling off. Zhang Lanlin was so frightened that she hurriedly picked it up with both hands, and dared not mess up. At this time, a young woman came out, stepped forward and pushed Zhang Lanlin away. "What are you doing? Are you crazy about children? You don't even look in the mirror, you don't have much on your skinny body. How shabby is my ding-dang like yours?" She was not afraid when she saw a circle of people around her, and immediately beckoned them to approach. Come, take a look, my ding-dang is like me. Still like this liar." While teasing the child in her arms, the old lady followed suit, "That's right, my grandson looks like me, let's judge and see if he looks like me. A child who is a little older eats fat." The old lady and her so-called daughter-in-law looked chubby. It doesn't matter whether the child looks like them or not, but just this point, others' hearts are already biased. Looking at the decent looks of the two, the clothes on the child are also branded. Compared with Zhang Lanlin, who is thin and embarrassed because of taking the child all the way, they are really more like the child's relatives. What's more, the child didn't know what was going on, and was intimate with the old lady. He didn't cry when he was hugged, and he didn't even look at Zhang Lanlin once. Zhang Lanlin cried and quarreled, but the child was taken away by force. Even if she yelled to call the police, a kind-hearted person who didn't know the truth stopped her and said that she would help her to see the police. Zhang Lanlin was desperate, and when she broke away from the crowd and ran away, she was hit by a car just as she was on the road. Blood flowed all over the ground, and there was a mother who lost her child's empty eyes. Yu Yao felt a bone-chilling chill in her heart, and suddenly opened her eyes. At this time, Zhang Lanlin on the opposite side had a gentle smile on her face, patted the baby in her arms, and talked to the old lady beside her who hadn't spoken before. "It's called Ding Dong, I started it, I like it. I watched a cartoon called Doraemon, so I named him that." The old lady smiled and said, "Oh, so our little Ding Dong's name still has this name." She looked kindly, and reached out and tapped the child's cheek lightly. But Yu Yao looked at her face exactly like the old lady's that appeared in her mind just now, but she felt an anger that wanted to kick the old woman to death. Wang Ermei felt that something was wrong, looked up at Yu Yao, was stunned for a moment, and then smiled. Little girl, why do you keep looking at me? Is there something wrong with me? Such a person, now turning against her and going to another place, might harm other families. Yu Yao forcibly suppressed the anger in her heart, blinked her eyes, and smiled on her face. No, I just think you look kind and amiable, old lady, a bit like my grandma. Qin Feng was dozing off, but when he heard Yu Yao's words, he quickly sat upright and opened his eyes wide. Looking at the old lady opposite, her hair is combed brightly, with gold earrings on her ears, a gold necklace around her neck, and a pair of green jade bracelets on her wrists. She looks like an old lady from a rich family. Thinking of her granddaughter saying that she felt similar to this old lady, Qin Feng laughed cheerfully, regardless of the fact that she didn't have a piece of jewelry on her body and that life was not easy written all over her face. What are you talking about? Grandma is right next to you, can you still recognize her? She pretended to be angry and scolded Yu Yao with a smile. But on the opposite side, Wang Ermei had a flash of disdain in her eyes. An old woman with a poor face at first glance, is too embarrassed to say that she looks like herself, without any self-knowledge. But, this little girl is really beautiful, look at her white and tender skin, her pair of watery eyes seem to be able to talk, it seems that she should make a fortune this time, just like that, she can sell for more money than that little furry child. It's just that she is not young, so I'm afraid it's not easy to coax. Thinking quickly in her heart, she showed a more amiable smile on her face. Oh, what a handsome little girl! Old sister, I didn't say that, you are very lucky to have such a handsome and smart granddaughter, a good day waiting for you. Yu Yao clearly saw the disdain in her eyes. But Qin Feng was so coaxed by these words that his mouth twisted. When Xue Chunfang divorced and took Yu Yao away, the Yu family had been comforted by the neighbors and joked behind their backs for so many years. This time Yu Yao committed suicide even more, otherwise Qin Feng would not have been so angry that she wished Yu Yao could become a big star. But I didn't expect that the old lady who didn't know on the train, an old lady who was rich at first glance, would say such a thing. Qin Feng has never been able to show off his family to others in his life, and now that Yu Yao is by the side, he has the capital to show off. I borrowed your good words, and I will wait. But it is not my Wangpo who sells it. Gua, Yayao from my family is really a good boy, not to mention pretty, but also very smart and filial. No one in our family's neighbors praises her for being good. Although she was not her original body, Yu Yao was also a little blushed and ashamed by Qin Feng's praise. However, Qin Feng had deceived himself, and his face was full of pride. Wang Ermei smiled and answered, "Blessed old sister. Unlike me, although she also has a granddaughter who is also beautiful, but she just doesn't get close to me, alas. By the way, your granddaughter is called Yayao? What 2 words? Ah, what a coincidence, my granddaughter is also named Yayao." Qin Feng was illiterate, and she didn't even know her own granddaughter's name. She looked at Yu Yao with a slightly embarrassed smile, and motioned for Yu Yao to say. Suddenly, a ridiculous idea came to Yu Yao's heart, this old woman, could she also have a crush on her? Child abduction can be sold for money, but it seems that there is more money in abduction and trafficking of women into the mountains. As for the appearance of Yu Yao, the original body, maybe there is no need to sell it in the mountains, and it will cost more to sell it elsewhere. Damn it! Yu Yao chuckled, and said, there is a place called Yuyao. My parents met there. It just so happens that my father's surname is Yu, so he gave me this name. Wang Ermei slapped her hands and said excitedly, what a coincidence, my granddaughter is also Yao, but our surname is Wang, and my granddaughter's name is Wang Yao. Yu Yao, hee, you can make it up, as long as you like it. I hope you can still be happy when you get out of the car. Holding Qin Feng in her arms and boasting a few more words, Wang Ermei lowered her hair contentedly and sent a message. Then she looked up and saw Ding Dang, who had just finished drinking milk. With the mentality of earning a fortune, she asked Zhang Lanlin with a smile, Ding Dang is such a good-looking child, so cute and chubby, he is a boy. Var. Before Zhang Lanlin answered, Qin Feng rushed to say, it must be, I knew it was a boy at a glance. Yu Yao raised her forehead, dear grandma, please stop making trouble. Before Zhang Lanlin agreed, she went up to look at Ding Dong. The outer hand was in a place where Wang Ermei could not see, but she pinched Zhang Lanlin's wrist gently and said, Sister, is this a boy? How can I look at it? Like a girl. Zhang Lanlin was at a loss, why did this pretty little girl pinch her? She looked at Yu Yao puzzled, and Yu Yao put in more effort underneath and pinched her again. Although I don't know what Yu Yao meant, but Zhang Lanlin saw Yu Yao's kindness just now. If it wasn't for Yu Yao, her Ding Dong might not be able to drink milk right now. So Zhang Lanlin followed Yu Yao's words and said to Wang Ermei and Qin Feng, it's a girl. Qin Feng still didn't believe it, the old lady was old, she had a thick skin, and immediately wanted to take a look at Ding Dong's crotch. Although Wang Ermei didn't move, her eyes were fixed tightly. Seeing her appearance, Yu Yao sneered in her heart, and hurriedly took Qin Feng's hand, Grandma, what are you doing? Sister can even be wrong about whether her child is a boy or a girl. I'm hungry, look in the bag. What? I want to eat something. No matter how important other people's affairs are, they are not as important as their own granddaughters. After being interrupted by Yu Yao, although Qin Feng still didn't believe that his bad eyesight would make him misread, it was obvious that it was more important for her granddaughter to eat first, so she decided to turning around. He opened the bag on the table, opened a box of washed grapes and handed it over. You eat the grapes first, and when you get off the train the staff sells meals, you have a box lunch. The meals on the train are a bit more expensive, but they are definitely more nutritious than instant noodles. Qin Feng is very generous to his granddaughter. Yu Yao took the lunch box, ate it by herself, and then gave it to Qin Feng. Qin Feng thought that if she ate it, she would have to tell the old lady opposite to eat it too, so she immediately shook her head, Grandma won't eat it, you can eat it yourself. Yu Yao didn't understand what Qin Feng meant, and thought she was reluctant. Grandma, you can eat together, it's okay, wait until I arrive. Thinking of the traffickers sitting across from her, Yu Yao didn't dare to tell the truth, when I make money in the future, we can eat every day. You girl. Qin Feng was really reluctant, she said, you eat yours, and Grandma will eat after you make money later. Wang Ermei smiled and said, old sister, look, your granddaughter is filial piety. Qin Feng was also happy in his heart, no matter what happens in the future, but the granddaughter said so now, that is filial piety. She smiled and nodded, and praised Yu Yao again. Yu Yao had no choice but to eat by herself. Wang Ermei was chatting, and then asked where the grandparents and grandchildren were going. Although Qin Feng had hopes in her heart, she was unwilling to say it out loud. How could it be so easy for an ordinary girl to become a big star? So she hesitated for a while, and lied, isn't it just a summer vacation? I've always wanted to come to Hengcheng to see, Yayao is fine, so she volunteered to bring me here. Wang Ermei exaggerated, oh, it's not easy, this girl is really a good girl. While eating grapes, Yu Yao listened distractedly to what Qin Feng, Wang Ermei, and Zhang Lanlin who occasionally interjected. After eating the grapes, she went to the conductor on the pretext of going to the bathroom, and asked her to take her to the police. Xiao Qiuchen is the policeman on this train. As a policeman, his greatest wish is to be able to safely transport a carload of people from city H to city D. It is best not to have any accidents along the way. Of course, if there is any accident, it is best to know in advance to avoid any harm to passengers. So when Yu Yao was brought over by the conductor, he solemnly asked Yu Yao to sit opposite. What do you mean? Yu Yao said, the old lady sitting opposite me is a human trafficker. Xiao Qiuchen didn't neglect because Yu Yao was just a little girl, and immediately asked, reason? Evidence. Yu Yao couldn't talk to Xiao Qiuchen like she did to Min Ruxiu, she had to lie. I saw her once, in the elevator of a neighborhood over my house. A child who lived upstairs from me, that day when I got home, I happened to see her holding the child in the elevator. The child was crying badly. I took a second look, and she explained that it was the child's grandmother. She took the child to the hospital because he was sick and uncomfortable. I didn't know that family very well, so I didn't care about it. But I found out the next day that the child upstairs in my house was missing. It was said that the child's grandmother and the old lady were talking about a fellow villager, so they brought him back. Who knows that this person is a human trafficker, taking the child away while the child's grandma is not paying attention. Yu Yao had a serious face, thinking that she was going to enter the entertainment circle, so today it was just acting. She acted in the script she had thought up before, a girl who saw a trafficker abducting a neighbor's child with her own eyes and came to the police. This girl must be angry, but also guilty. If she could ask a few more questions and take care of her when she felt something was wrong, maybe the neighbor's child would not be lost. Yu Yao was angry. Thinking of Zhang Lanlan's ending, she wanted to kick Wang Ermei to death. Feeling guilty, thinking about occupying the body of the original body, and getting the love of Qin Feng and Yu Zhaoxing. Thinking about how she was pushed downstairs by Yu Zhongshan, is her body now a vegetable? Can she no longer protect her weak mother and brother who doesn't understand anything? There is also guilt. Yu Yao's eyes turned red, and she said excitedly, "Police, you must take care of this matter. Don't let her escape. Even if what I just said can't be used as evidence to arrest her, you can send someone to watch it first." I found that something was wrong with her. She kept asking me about the situation of the young lady and the child opposite me, and asked my grandma about my news. I doubt that she will move after getting off the train. This means that not only the child, but even her may be targeted by traffickers. Without actual evidence, just based on Yu Yao's few words, Xiao Qiuchen is really not good at taking immediate action against Wang Ermei. But Yu Yao's last words lifted his spirits. If it was true, then what he caught was a repeat offender. If such a person is caught, his future promotion is secondary. The most important thing is that it can prevent another family from being torn apart by the traffickers, and the child who was abducted earlier may also be found. He got up and said, "Okay, you go back first, don't let her see that something is wrong, just leave the rest to me." Although Yu Yao felt that she could help Zhang Lanlan win the child by herself, but the other parties seemed to have taken a fancy to her, and there must be more than one responder at the exit, so for safety reasons, she could only lie and call the police first. It's just that her behavior is bad, and I'm afraid she will be educated afterwards. Walking all the way to the compartment where they were staying, when they reached the door of the bathroom, the door happened to be opened. As soon as Zhang Lanlan came out, she saw Yu Yao, and hurriedly said, "Where have you been? Your grandma saw that you didn't go back. Just now, I came to use the toilet and asked me to help you. I didn't see you on either side." Yu Yao asked nervously, "Where's your child?" Zhang Lanlan said, "I couldn't help it just now, please give me a hug from your grandma, what's wrong?" Although Yu Yao has never been a mother, she knows the meaning of a child to a mother under normal circumstances. She did not dare to disclose the news in advance, so she shook her head, "It's nothing, I just asked out of curiosity, my grandma should be in a hurry, I'll go there first." She lifted her foot and walked away. Zhang Lanlan grabbed it, but it was empty. "I still want to ask, why did you pinch me just now?" Zhang Lanlan muttered in a low voice, didn't care, and washed her hands. Yu Yao quickly walked back to her seat, and saw that although Qin Feng was holding the child, Wang Ermei somehow made something like a crystal ball that twinkled and twinkled, making Ding Dong laugh. "It seems that I did the right thing by going to the police in advance." As soon as Yu Yao sat down, she immediately said, "Grandma, if you turn Ding Dong to me, I'll tease him too." Qin Feng only thought that his granddaughter liked children, so he turned sideways and turned Ding Dong to Yu Yao. The child couldn't see the twinkling things and shrunk his mouth. He was about to cry, but Yu Yao took his little hand and said softly, Ding Dong, don't cry, sister, please sing to Ding Dong, it is good. As if she could understand these words, the little baby, who seemed to be less than a year old, laughed again. Yu Yao breathed a sigh of relief, lowered her voice and hummed a few words. Just when Zhang Lanlan came back, she hurriedly asked Qin Feng to pass Jing Dong over. Because she wanted to tease the children, Yu Yao missed Wang Ermei's angry and resentful eyes at the beginning, and also missed her calculating eyes that seemed to think of something later. 7 hours passed quickly, and the train was almost at its station. After a few hours of getting along, Zhang Lanlan and Qin Feng Wang Ermei were familiar with each other. When getting out of the car, Wang Ermei looked at Zhang Lanlan holding the child and carrying the luggage, and said kindly, there are too many people at the moment, you hold the baby first, and I will help you carry half of the things, and I will give them to you when there are fewer people when you get out of the station. Yu Yao didn't stop her, she had to give her some hope, otherwise she wouldn't be able to catch her if she stopped. Unexpectedly, Qin Feng glanced at it, but said, okay, you can carry half of it, and I will help to carry half of it. After 7 hours in the car, they had almost finished their food. In summer, the clothes were light, and the luggage was only 2 sets of clothes per person, and some other toiletries. Yu Yao carried a small bag, and Qin Feng carried a larger one, so there wasn't much luggage. Wang Ermei originally wanted to be lazy and carry less, but now she heard Qin Feng's words, but she became anxious. You are still carrying luggage, and the bag is heavy at first glance, let me do it, I will take it all. Zhang Lanlan laughed and said, no need, I can carry the baby while I'm in my arms, I'm used to it. When chatting in the car, everyone knew that Zhang Lanlan was the youngest daughter in the family. Not to mention her older brothers and sisters, her parents were also old, so her mother's parents couldn't help her when she gave birth. On the husband's side, the in-laws are long gone, the man is working out of town, and the family of 3 spends too much money out of town, so she brought the children back to her hometown. Before Wang Ermei could speak, Qin Feng rushed to say, it's not that you have no conditions when you are alone, but now someone can help you, just look after the child, why are you so tired? It's all right, get ready, you can get out of the car. Impatient, she snatched the bag from Zhang Lanlan's hand and urged Yu Yao to leave. Yu Yao nodded to Zhang Lanlan, and said, sister, I'll take a step first, you just follow me. Don't get distracted by too many people when you go out, it's not easy to leave things to you. Seeing this, Wang Ermei had no choice but to comfort herself, so that she could take the grandparent and grandson together by the way. It's okay to throw the old ones away, or take them home to cook and cook as a nanny. As for the young ones, no matter where they are sold, they will make a lot of money. After getting off the train, Yu Yao immediately saw Xiao Qiuchen standing not far away. The two exchanged glances vaguely, and Yu Yao went out with the flow of people at ease. The more she went outside, the more nervous Yu Yao felt, especially when she secretly looked at Wang Ermei a few times and saw her calm face. She didn't seem like she was going to do anything at all. She is not afraid of being criticized and educated by the police, but she is afraid that such a human trafficker and her accomplices will escape. After the incident between Qin Feng and Min Ruxiu, she now doesn't doubt her ability to predict disasters at all. If she doesn't stop the scene she saw on the train, it will definitely happen. I'm afraid now, afraid that Wang Ermei will change her mind because of the accident between herself and Qin Feng. But Wang Ermei won't change her mind. In her eyes, these two big fish are all money. It's just that you have to wait after you go out. If there are too many people, it's not easy to them when their people come. So the 4 of them got out of the station and walked a few steps to the square. When there were only a few pedestrians around, Wang Ermei took the initiative to stop. Zhang Lanlan changed Ding Dong's arm to hold her, and first reached out to Qin Feng. "Auntie, thank you, give me the things, I can get a car when I go out." Qin Feng let go. Zhang Lanlin was picking up something. Wang Ermei reached out and took Ding Dong away from her arms. "Sister, thank you for helping me carry the baby all the way. It's already arrived. My family members want to pick me up, so I won't bother you." Because she wanted to take Yu Yao away by the way, Wang Ermei didn't leave after speaking. Zhang Lanlin was stunned for a moment, and smiled unnaturally. "What are you talking about? This is me." "Old lady, what nonsense are you talking about?" Yu Yao yelled before Zhang Lanlin. "Why is this your child? This is the eldest sister's daughter, return it immediately." Zhang Lanlin suddenly came to her senses, looked at Yu Yao, and cried, "Yes. This is my daughter, auntie, you can't rob someone's child." As a mother, when someone else wants to rob her child, how could she bear stop? She threw the things in her hand, and rushed to grab Ding Dong. Wang Ermei deliberately shook her hand, looking as if she was about to throw Ding Dong away. Zhang Lanlin was so frightened that she didn't dare to move, so she immediately turned her head and scolded Yu Yao. "Yao! You are not a child anymore, and you can't compete with your sister for favor like this." Her voice was even louder than that of Yu Yao and Zhang Lanlin. After she finished shouting, the pedestrians around all slowed down. Some stood there and looked at it, and some simply came over and watched closely. And these words were like a signal, and immediately a pair of young men and women ran over quickly. The woman was the same as what Yu Yao had seen before, but the man appeared for the first time. As soon as these two people appeared, the woman stood in front of Wang Ermei and pushed Zhang Lanlin away. "What are you doing? Are you crazy about children? You don't even look in the mirror, you are so skinny. I don't look shabby, how does my ding dong look like yours?" She was not afraid when she saw a circle of people around her, and immediately beckoned them to approach. Come, take a look, my family is ding dong like me, or this liar." But the man came directly towards Yu Yao, cursing in his mouth, "Stinky girl! That's your own sister, and you still want to push her to a liar. I think your conscience has been eaten like a dog." While speaking, he raised his hand, intending to slap Yu Yao, but she had no strength to resist. But Yu Yao is so beautiful, now her face is upturned, her eyes are bright, and there is a mocking smile on her face. The man just feels dazzled by this smile, and people are a little dumbfounded. "What did you say? That's my sister, so what are you me?" Yu Yao asked in a deep voice. The man opened his mouth, but couldn't say the words "I am your father." The people around thought that there was a child abducted and trafficked, and they all gathered around. What can be said to arouse public outrage these days? Human traffickers are one. These people looked at Wang Ermei and the woman in front of her, and at the thin Zhang Lanlin, and they all thought that Ding Dong was not born by Zhang Lanlin. Someone in the crowd shouted, "This is a human trafficker." Someone immediately echoed, "Human traffickers have no conscience. They should be shot. Call the police. Quickly call the police and arrest them." Zhang Lanlin was in a hurry, unable to reach Wang Ermei. She immediately tore and beat the woman. "Get out of the way! Get out of the way! That's my child! It's mine!" Wang Ermei scolded while teasing Ding Dong in her arms, playing with the twinkling balls. "Damn! What is your child? This is my little granddaughter. Look at this white and fat girl, she looks like our family." After that, he scolded the man again. "Li Ziawai, what are you doing? Quickly take Yao with you, let's go." Only then did Li Ziawai regain his senses, and hurriedly went to catch Yu Yao. Yu Yao was about to hide, but Qin Feng threw away her luggage and rushed up. As an old lady who has never seen the world, she didn't finally react until someone was about to do something to Yu Yao. She rushed up and hugged Li Ziawai's hand, and took a big bite, which made Li Ziawai scream. She let go. Another kick went between Li Ziawai's legs. Although Qin Feng is a thin and short old lady, she has a lot of strength. She solved Li Ziawei by herself, pointed at Wang Ermei and scolded, "You are a heartless old witch. Your grandma's leg, yes, you want to die, right? This is your granddaughter? You don't take a pee to take care of yourself, how can you have such a beautiful granddaughter with your dead virtue? This is my granddaughter. And the child in your arms, that is the daughter of the young lady, is your little granddaughter, I'm sorry." As she spoke, she rushed towards the young woman, and with her help, Zhang Lanlan soon had her hand to grab Ding Dong. Although Wang Ermei didn't have a real business, she was able to abduct and sell children and women. Just by looking at her appearance, she could tell that she was living a pretty good life. She had pretended to be a wealthy old lady for many years, and she thought so too. When she met someone as pungent as Qin Feng, she was really stunned. Li Dolly, who had been waiting by the side, cursed secretly, and rushed over, "What's the matter, you guys? You can take so long to pick up someone. Hurry up, old woman, you hold Ding Dong and go, yayo, don't you? Hurry up, go home." After drinking and scolding, he went to pull his son with one hand, and wanted to pull Yu Yao with the other. However, before he touched Yu Yao, the plainclothes policeman who had already surrounded the crowd got an order. Knowing that this group of people was here, they rushed up and kicked him, and arrested him. Seeing that things were really wrong, Wang Ermei finally panicked. The child in her arms was snatched by Zhang Lanlan, and she burst into tears. "What are you doing? You are an organized gang of human traffickers. Snatching a child. Help! Snatching a child!" As soon as she shouted, the people around did become a little confused. However, Xiao Qiuchen and the local police had rushed over quickly and explained the matter clearly. And finally got the chance, Yu Yao stepped forward, raised her right hand and slapped Wang Ermei the face, pointed at Ding Dong and said, "You said that was your little granddaughter, right?" Before Wang Ermei could respond, she turned to Zhang Lanlan. Said, "Sister, tell me, is Ding Dong a boy or a girl?" Zhang Lanlan raised her tear-stained face and said loudly, "It's a boy. Ding Dong is my son." Yu Yao pointed at herself again and asked Wang Ermei, "You said I am your granddaughter? Then which Yao is my Yao?" Wang Ermei stammered, "A place name, Yu Yao." Yu Yao took out her ID card and showed it to the onlookers. "Look, everyone, my Yao, next to the word Wang, means Miu, not the place name Yu Yao at all. If this person is really me and Ding Dang's grandma, wouldn't he know if Ding Dong is a man or a woman? Will he not know which Yao my Yao is? Damn it! So they are the human traffickers. There is still a gang. This is definitely not the first time they have done this. They must have done it many times. Hurry up and go to jail. Human traffickers should be shot. They should go to hell." When the truth came out, the people around shouted excitedly. Coming out of the police station, Qin Feng lowered his head, looking listless. Yu Yao didn't notice what was wrong with Qin Feng. Her face was flushed now, partly because she was angry with Wang Ermei, a family of 4 human traffickers, and partly because shame herself lied to Xiao Qiuchen. She never saw Wang Ermei abducting people in H City. However, Yu Yao felt a little relieved when she thought that Wang Ermei was crying bitterly because she refused to admit that she had abducted a child in City H and was forced to question her by the police. Xiao Qiuchen wanted to stay temporarily because of this incident, and it happened that he was fine now, so he planned to send Zhang Lanlan's mother and son, who were obviously frightened, for a ride. When they arrived at the gate of the police station, he glanced at Yu Yao, whose face was flushed red, and said with some embarrassment, "Well, where are you going? I'll see you off too." He felt ashamed because he thought he was stupid, and was actually deceived by Yu Yao's appearance. But Yu Yao was really embarrassed to see him. He was scolded just now inside. "No, we'll just take a taxi and go to the bus station." She quickly refused. Although Zhang Lanlan was frightened today, Yu Yao and Qin Feng are her great benefactors. Therefore, seeing that they were going to the bus station, she hurriedly asked, "Where are you going?" "Did Auntie say on the train?" "Going to Hengcheng?" "It's past 5 o'clock now, where are you going in Hengcheng? Is there a place to stay in advance?" "Not really. Originally, I planned to arrive at Hengcheng around 4 p.m., because I might have to stay for a long time, so I thought about it when I got there." Who would have thought that such a thing would happen on the train? It was already past 5 o'clock, and it was past 6 o'clock in Hengcheng, and it was almost dark even in summer. "But if you stay here for one night, you will be delayed tomorrow morning." Yu Yao didn't hide it, looked at Xiao Qiuchen and Zhang Lanlin and said, "I want to go to Hengcheng to see if there is any chance to participate in acting as an actor, and I haven't settled down yet. Do you know where I can find a place to live? I may have to stay longer." What a little girl, how could she have such an idea? Xiao Qiuchen was speechless, and Zhang Lanlin was also stunned. Yu Yao smiled, "It's fine if you don't know, I'd better go and have a look first. It's such a big place, I'm sure I can find a place to live. I'll get in the car and check my phone to see if I can make an appointment first." Zhang Lanlin quickly stopped her, "Wait. Although I don't know if it's good to find a place to live there, but my second sister is married there, and you want to be an actress. My second sister and second brother-in-law opened a supermarket nearby. At the same time, I am also helping the crew to recruit extra performers. You will be easily deceived if you don't understand anything at first. Wait a minute, I'll give my second sister a call." Zhang Lanlin carried the child to the side to make a phone call, and Yu Yao asked Xiao Qiuchen in a low voice, "Wang Ermei's group is not the first time to kidnap and traffic people. Will they be sentenced to death?" Looking at Yu Yao's expectant eyes, Xiao Qiuchen paused and said, "I'm not sure yet. If you want to be sentenced to death for abducting and trafficking children and women, unless the circumstances are particularly serious, at most it will be life imprisonment and confiscation of property." Yu Yao felt a little uncomfortable. If she didn't have the ability to predict disasters, Zhang Lanlin would have died. This is why good people don't live long and bad people live thousands of years? Just as Yu Yao was about to talk, Zhang Lanlin came back with red eyes, but she smiled and said to Yu Yao, "I told my second sister that you helped me save Ding Dong. My second sister said you just go and find him her. I'll give you a call, and you can write it down." Although it is said that doing good deeds does not leave a name, and doing good deeds does not ask for anything in return. But people really reciprocated, and it was what she needed, so Yu Yao didn't refuse. Anyway, she did a great job. After writing down the phone number of Zhang Lanlin's second sister, Zhang Mimi, Yu Yao was about to leave. Xiao Qiuchen glanced at her regretfully, and asked Zhang Lanlin, "Sister Zhang, are you in a hurry? If not, you can get in my car first, and I will send them to the station, and then I will take you home." Zhang Lanlin immediately said, "Don't be in a hurry, don't be in a hurry, send them off first. City D is very close to Hengcheng, and places like Hengcheng naturally have many shuttle buses every day." Yu Yao and Qin Feng waved goodbye to Zhang Lanlin and Xiao Qiuchen at the gate of the station. After entering the bus station, they immediately bought tickets for the departure 12 minutes later. They arrived in less than an hour. The grandparents and grandchildren were quite tired from the bumps this day, and they were so busy that they hadn't had dinner yet. When they got out of the car, Qin Feng's legs gave way. "Up! Grandma, are you okay?" Yu Yao looked at her worriedly. Qin Feng's face was pale, and her lips were bloodless, but she shook her head, "I'm fine, let's go, and see where Zhang Lanlin's second sister's supermarket is." Yu Yao couldn't work hard with her left hand, and she had to carry her bag with her right hand, so she could only say, "If you feel uncomfortable, please tell me immediately." Qin Feng shook his head, straightened up and walked away, "I'm fine." There was no need for two people to look for it. Zhang Mimi was standing beside her with a big boy who was taller than her by a head. The boy held up a whiteboard with Yu Yao's name written on it. Yu Yao called Qin Feng to stop, and the grandfather and grandson stepped forward. She asked first, "Hi, is this Sister Zhang's second sister?" "I'm Yu Yao." After all, they are sisters. Zhang Mimi and Zhang Lanlan are very similar, they are both thin and dark. She had already learned from her younger sister that Yu Yao was a great benefactor of her family. Seeing Yu Yao now, she immediately said excitedly, "You are Yu Yao, right? Lan Lan told me, if it wasn't for you, ding dong, that child is in danger. You are the benefactor of my sister's family, and you are also my benefactor, walk around and go home quickly." After speaking, she took all the luggage from Yu Yao and Qin Feng's hands, and she and the boy shared the luggage. Not to mention being taken home with enthusiasm, Zhang Mimi even closed the small supermarket at home early, and told her man Chen Yongsheng to buy vegetables, wash vegetables and cut vegetables an hour ago, and he has already prepared a table full of vegetables. When Yu Yao and the others arrived, Chen Yongsheng was waiting there with a pair of daughters. Yu Yao was already hungry at this moment, and she was not too polite after dinner, she was full. Even Qin Feng didn't know what was wrong, although he said he was fine, but he ate very little for dinner. With her appearance, Yu Yao didn't dare to stay downstairs to ask Zhang Mimi what was going on with the extras, so she went to the guest room on the second floor with her early. The hotel prices in Hengcheng are high, and there are some cheap places, but even if the conditions are poor, it is not safe enough. Yu Yao thinks that the 50,000 yuan in her hand has not been spent at all for the time being. Although it is not a problem to book a one-a-month hotel stay, if there are other things that need money in the middle, it will be troublesome. But Zhang Mimi here, she kindly invited their grandparents to stay for free, saying that it was vacant or vacant. Yu Yao thinks it's better to stay here tonight, and tell her to rent the room tomorrow. Firstly, don't worry about safety issues, secondly, maybe Qin Feng can stay here and cook a meal by the way. There's no way, even if she doesn't care about her mouth, her body is still not in good shape and needs to be taken care of. So when she went to the second floor to put down her luggage, while Qin Feng was taking a shower, Yu Yao came out just in time to see the big boy who had gone to the other side with Zhang Mimi to pick her up, so she stopped her. This person also met at the dinner table. It is Chen Kai, Chen Yongshen's nephew. Like Yu Yao, he has a star dream, and he has been at his uncle's house for half a year. There are 3 rooms on the second floor of Chen Yongshen's house. Yu Yao occupies one, his 2 daughters have one, and Chen Kai has one. In the early days, I wanted to rent it out, but because the 2 daughters were crying, and because it was inconvenient to have outsiders living together, it was always vacant. Chen Kai was about to go back to his room, when he heard Yu Yao's call, he turned around and walked over. "What's the matter?" he asked in a gentle voice. Chen Kai has a good impression of Yu Yao, not only because she is very beautiful after meeting her, but also because this girl is 1 year younger than him, but she is so courageous, and so smart and capable, she actually got her from a trafficker. "Get the baby back." He is 1.82 meters tall. Although he is not handsome at first glance, he is actually very attractive, especially because he probably loves to exercise. From Yu Yao's point of view, if he is taller, the male models are even better and the bodies are just too good. Yu Yao shook her head, she is no longer the eldest lady of Zhaoshan Media, she thinks these are superfluous. So he whispered, "I want to ask you, if you want to rent a room like the one I live in Hengcheng for a long time, how much will it cost per month?" Chen Kai immediately understood Yu Yao's meaning, and he said, "You can stay here, my aunt told you to stay here for free." Yu Yao didn't need to tell him too much, she just smiled and said, "I just want to inquire, and some friends want to come over." As soon as Chen Kai heard this, he said to her seriously, "It is not difficult to find such a house, but the key depends on the location. There are differences in distance and safety. If your friend wants to come and rent, my uncle and aunt's house is close to the filming place, and there is no problem with safety. There are few people living here, and there will be no competition for the bathroom. There will be no situation where you can't sleep because you come back from a night scene. How can it last a month? It must be 4 or 5,000. Even if it was 5,000, it was within Yu Yao's tolerance. Okay, I see, thank you. You're welcome. Chen Kai smiled embarrassedly, and suddenly complimented, you are so beautiful, you must be popular. Seeing the pretty little girl, Chen Kai instinctively praised it. Yu Yao didn't mind, on the contrary, she liked to hear this very much. She said seriously, thank you for your kind words. Only when she became popular, would she have a chance if she wanted to take revenge. Chen Kai wanted to say something else, but Yu Yao heard a sound coming from the bathroom, and pointed, I'm going back first, my grandma is coming out. Chen Kai nodded regretfully, and watched Yu Yao leave. After running around all day, after taking a shower, Yu Yao didn't have the heart to do strategies or think about anything. Seeing Qin Feng already lying down quietly, she also yawned and turned off the light. But just when she was about to fall asleep in a daze, a suppressed cry suddenly came from her ears. Yu Yao suddenly opened her eyes, and found that Qin Feng's body beside her was trembling slightly. Qin Feng is crying? Why? Did something happen? Yu Yao was stunned for a while, and couldn't bear to see the old lady suppress herself so much in the middle of the night, so she reached out and patted Qin Feng's shoulder, and said softly, Grandma, what's wrong with you? The granddaughter's voice was soft, as if she was afraid of scaring her. Qin Feng's body froze, and it took a while before he said with a stiff tone, it's okay, it's getting late, go to bed quickly. Why is it all right, that voice is just crying? Thinking of the old man's refusal to admit that she was just trying to save face, Yu Yao slid her hand over the switch at the bedside, then retracted it, and said in a coquettish tone, Grandma, you and Dad are the closest people I have in this world. The second time, you came out because of me, and if you get into a bad mood, Dad will scold me later. He dares. Qin Feng blurted out with his back to Yu Yao. Yu Yao was worried and felt amused at the same time, exerted a little force on her hand, and immediately showed weakness. Grandma, turn around and face me, my hand hurts, and I can't pull you. When Qin Feng heard this, he turned around worriedly, and reached for the switch at the same time. With a snap the light came on, and she nervously looked at Yu Yao's wrist. Where does it hurt? Is it bad? Should I go to the hospital? When did it start? When the light came on, Yu Yao saw that Qin Feng's face was already full of tears. His eyes were red, and the hair on the sideburns on the side of the bed was even wet with tears and stuck to his face. Yu Yao's own grandparents died early in a car accident, and Grandma, because she is not a boy, she has treated her badly since she was a child. When Yu Ji was born, Grandma treated her well for almost a year, but since she was sure of Yu Ji's stupidity, Grandma's eyes were full of disgust when she saw her and Yu Ji again. Yu Yao grew up so big, except for Zhao Shukan, no other female elders treated her well. Although Qin Feng was kind to Yuan Shen, but now she is Yuan Shen. She was equally touched, and she wanted to reciprocate. Shaking her head, Yu Yao hugged Qin Feng's arm directly. Grandma, I don't feel pain anymore. Tell me, what's wrong with you, why are you crying? While speaking, she gently wiped Qin Feng's tears with her thumb. It was fine if she didn't wipe it, but Qin Feng's complexion changed after she wiped it, and tears flowed down her face even more. Grandma, Grandma is sorry for you, Grandma is too stupid today, she said everything to that old hag, almost you were abducted by them. If you are kidnapped by them, how will I live? How will your father live? Those who kill thousands of knives, they won't treat you well, they don't know where to sell you, how to torture you, bully you, if you are not clever. Thinking of the possible outcome, Qin Feng wiped away tears, but couldn't help crying out, Yayao, Grandma used to treat you badly, always coldly and stab you with words, but you trust Grandma, Grandma knows she's wrong, Grandma apologizes to you, can you forgive Grandma? Although Yu Yao didn't want to blame Yuan Shen, Qin Feng really couldn't be the only one to blame for what happened in the past. Xue Chunfeng was wrong first, the original body was taught to be crooked when she was a child, and something happened when she grew up, even if she didn't do it on purpose, but that attitude is still unsatisfactory in the eyes of an old lady who hasn't seen her granddaughter in 10 years. Likeable. Grandma, don't say that, I'm also at fault. Yu Yao simply accepted the fault, it's because I have a bad attitude, so it's normal for you to do that. It's all Xue Chunfeng's fault. If it wasn't for her, we wouldn't have done it either. It's like this. Knowing that her granddaughter was comforting her, Qin Feng's heart was sore and warm. Such a good granddaughter, why didn't she just go all out to get this child back? Why should this child grow up with her mother? Thinking of Xue Chunfeng's previous attitude and what he said, Qin Feng was half angry and half distressed, and his whole body was shaking. All she thought about was that she had been wronged and her son had been wronged for so many years. She couldn't even think about it. How could her granddaughter live with that woman in another man's house and depend on her stepfather's face every day? Why didn't she think about it? Why didn't she bring her granddaughter back? She doesn't even know which Yao is in her granddaughter's name. That woman will not end well. She will definitely end well. Qin Feng held Yu Yao tightly in his arms, only to realize that she was so thin. Yao Yao, don't be yourself. You are right, you are not wrong at all. Let's not talk about this, Grandma will treat you well in the future and love you very much. Yu Yao was provoked to tears. The reason why she was able to call her father and grandma so innocently was actually because her own father and grandma were nothing, and the other hated her very much. How could she not be moved by a grandma like Qin Feng? Patting Qin Feng's back lightly, Yu Yao choked up and said, "Okay, let's stop blaming ourselves. From now on, Grandma treats me well, and I will be filial to Grandma." Yu Yao was really tired the day before, not only physically but also mentally, so she didn't feel it when Qin Feng woke up the next morning. And when he finally woke up, he saw that it was already 9 o'clock on his phone. It's really late. After a hasty wash, the weather was hot, so Yu Yao found a white dress to put on and went downstairs. The old lady Qin Feng didn't feel so good. When she got up early in the morning, she not only helped Zhang Mimi cook the family's breakfast, but after everyone had finished eating, she drove Zhang Mimi to do business, and she went to the kitchen to wash the family's pots and bowls too. And when Yu Yao came downstairs, she was chatting with Zhang Mimi while helping to organize the shelves. "Sister Zhang, Grandma." Yu Yao, who got up late, called out a little embarrassedly. Zhang Mimi laughed and said, "Yao woke up? The kitchen left breakfast for you, hurry up and eat." Qin Feng put down the work in hand, turned around and went to the kitchen. "Come on, wash your hands, I'll serve you a meal. Breakfast is peanut porridge, buns, and 2 fried eggs." Although actresses should pay attention to their figure, but the original body is a bit too thin, and with the need to maintain the body, Yu Yao just ate it without reservation. The dining table is a short distance away from the outside. After Yu Yao finished eating, Qin Feng said in a low voice, "Yao, I asked Zhang Mimi early in the morning. Her man, Chen Yongsheng, has extras here every day. It's true, coincidentally, there seems to be a costume drama crew looking for a beautiful extra. I heard that there are still 2 lines. Because the requirements for appearance are too high, I haven't found a suitable person for several days. I recommended you to Zhang Mimi, and she told you to try it in the afternoon. Even if you want to use your own gold finger, it must be a disaster. But if you want to predict disasters for others, Yu Yao has discovered it, you have to touch something on them first. For example, Qin Feng's mobile phone at the beginning, then Min Ruxu's mobile phone, and then the baby bottle and milk powder handed over by Zhang Lanlan on the train, these are all media. So this extra actor has to do it. Okay. Nodding, Yu Yao boasted, Grandma, you are awesome. Find out such important news early in the morning. Qin Feng was taken aback by the praise, and then said with some pride, of course, it doesn't matter whose grandma I am. Yao, if you turn around and behave well, Grandma believes that you will definitely become a big star. Hey, why did you suddenly think so? Yu Yao didn't ask any further questions, but said, well, I will definitely behave well. Although Zhang Mimi's supermarket is small, the business is really good. However, she was the only one in charge of it in the past, and she was so busy that she was dizzy almost every day. But today, with Yu Yao and Qin Feng here, both grandparents and grandchildren can help, so Zhang Mimi has some time. Her man was born and bred in Hengcheng. Over the years, he had seen many young people who dreamed of becoming a big star. In addition, Yu Yao was really pretty, so she didn't ask why she wanted to enter the entertainment industry. Want to be a star? Seeing that Yu Yao wanted to help, he hurriedly stopped her. Yao, don't move, it's hot today, moving around will affect your image. It's already 10 o'clock, and it will be around 11 o'clock soon. Qing Huan, the assistant director of, is coming, you must make the best impression on him. If you can get into the group smoothly, money is a trivial matter, but the key follow-up may have a lot of jobs for you. The director of this movie is Chen Yuki. That's Chen Yuki who made Ker. Qin Feng became excited when he heard the name. Zhang Mimi smiled and said, no, it's him. Chen Yuki is one of the most famous directors in China, and his movie heroine is the best, and many people want to play the supporting actress. This time the role has actually been decided long ago. Said Cai Rong, who recently acted in the popular campus romance drama, didn't know what happened, and suddenly said that she couldn't act. This is also because I was looking for a few days and couldn't find a suitable one. I was in a hurry, so the assistant director over there told our family Yang Sheng said that if there is a girl who is particularly good looking, I will show him. Yang Sheng found two good ones, but in terms of beauty, they are not as good as Yao. Director Chen Yuki enjoys a high reputation both at home and abroad. His works not only perform well at the box office, but also win many prestigious awards at home and abroad. And although his works are not many, but almost every one of his works will promote the heroine, and even because the actresses who acted in his movies can make further progress in their careers, the heroines in his movies are also called odd by the media. Girl. And it's okay if you can't be the heroine, just be a supporting role in his movie, and you can blow it up after it comes out. As for the movie Ker that Qin Feng just mentioned, the actress Zhang Tao who plays Ker is now a big sister in the circle. She has been popular for more than 20 years, and she has been active on the big screen at home and abroad, and her popularity has remained high. Now the people of the country almost regard her as the pride of Huiguo. Qin Feng looked at Yu Yao and said, yes, our Yao is very beautiful. Yu Yao pulled the corners of her mouth and forced a smile, but her heart felt like a turbulent sea. Chen Yuki, she really didn't expect that the first person she would meet in the entertainment industry would be Chen Yuki. Others don't know, but she knows clearly that this man is Pan Jiaying's godfather. And Pan Jiaying, the one who gave birth to Yu Jiangshan's illegitimate child, was the one who indirectly killed her.